All right, man. Peace. So now this is going to be another entry in the paternity test should be mandatory series. Of course, this is going to use another court case as a backdrop. I just want you brothers to pay very close attention to what goes on in the interaction between this female and the alleged father. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Plaintiff Aisha Shahid says she has a 16-year-old daughter with the defendant, but she claims he's been an absentee father for most of her life. Aisha says the defendant is now questioning the paternity of their child, so she petitioned the court for...
Look at how this female is smiling. The reason why she's smiling is because of the anticipation of being able to bring confusion. Her eyes keep darting to the left. Why? Because that's where the defendant is going to be standing. All right, this is her opportunity to force the alleged father to be brought forth in an open forum where she can embarrass him. She understands that she cannot lose. Please understand something, brothers. When you're dealing with agents of chaos, they get off on arguing. They don't care if you start yelling back at them. They don't care if you start to bring out information about them. They don't care. The thrill is being able to suck you into their bullshit. That's why I tell some of the liberal females who try to bring that energy on my channel, this channel is not for the gender war. This is why I tell some of the so-called Caucasians who try to get into the racial conversation, my channel is not for the circular racial arguments. 90% of life is just keeping it simple, brothers. One of the easiest ways to keep life simple is to not feed into the negative energy. Okay? Don't feed into the negative interactions that these people try to instigate. Why is that? They're trying to get into a back and forth with you so that for a moment, for however long the altercation lasts, they can forget about how much they hate themselves.
For a paternity test. Defendant Quentin Vines says he wouldn't be in court today if 6 months ago Aisha hadn't told him that he was not her daughter's father.
This brother looked worn out. He looked like he wants to be at the mechanic shop, just smoking a pack of Newports, waiting for his car to get fixed. Man is so drawn out. He's like a damn raccoon. Both his eyes black.
Quentin said until that moment, he had never questioned paternity, so he's eager to take the test and find out the truth.
Why don't you give me some background?
This guy over here, Quentin, it has been an absentee father to our daughter for most of her life.
How old is she?
She is 16 and a half years old, soon to be 17.
They live in the same town or what?
Yes, Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And I met Quentin in March of 1999. Our daughter was born in June of 2000. And we had a really good relationship. We clicked right away. And once she was born, when she was 3.
This dude looked like he don't even know the bitch. He's like, Your Honor, who this bitch? I'm here for something else.
She was visiting her dad, and I came to pick her up. And when I picked her up, there was a lady in there, had one child, and there was another child sitting there.
Were you all still dating at that time?
Yes, we were.
Okay.
Yes, we were. And so once I figured out that he had one family, not only...
Yeah, this dude is something else. Yeah, y'all was still dating in her mind. Please keep something in mind, brothers. You got bros out here you haven't spoke to in 10 years. In her mind, y'all still dating. She like, I know this nigga done changed his number, but once I track him down, he gonna take me out for Valentine's Day.
Not only did he start one family, he started a second family because I found out 4 months later there was another child. So
How old were those children?
Well, when I found out about the children, they were 5 months old. They were twins, 5 months old. And then, like I said, 4 months later, another little girl was born.
And so you all broke up or something around that time?
Yes, I broke the relationship off.
Stay tuned. The case continues after this.
All right, so now when we left off, the plaintiff, the female here, was basically listing the series of issues that precipitated her terminating her relationship with the defendant. Those issues, or those parameters, being that he was impregnating various women. Look, man, and this is why I constantly put qualifications to the statement that a man can have more than one woman. Every time you bring a child into the world, man, that's another life that you have to consider. For 18 years, you got to steward over that child. And this is also why I made the video, or why I make videos pertaining to smoking weed. Because a lot of brothers, man, they just have their head in the fucking clouds. They have their head in the clouds. They don't think clearly. And I guarantee you, and it's not to besmirch this brother here, but, you know, I made a little joke about his eyes being black, meaning the area around his eyes, his eyelids being black. I'm very, very sure that he has a drinking issue, and most likely he smokes, and probably back in the day he used to hit the weed. A lot of cats make decisions when they high, and they come down off that high, and they're incredulous as to why, you know, their life is in the condition that it's in. That's why I stated, for the so-called black man in this society, you're at the bottom. This is a pro-truth channel, man. I deal with reality. This is not a pro-black channel. Okay? So if certain people are offended by reality, then this is not the channel for you. When you're going out there impregnating 3 women at once and all this other nonsense, maybe it makes a cat feel like he's a king or what have you. But when you have a child, you're supposed to be thinking about 30 years in the future where that child's going to be. Not saying, oh, man, I got 3 pieces of pussy, I'm knocking up 3, bro. I mean, come on, man. That shit is lame, man. The only thing that's going to happen with dudes like that is they're going to end up in prison. And beyond that, you're going to become an old man. You're going to start looking to your children for help, for succor, and those children are not going to want to deal with you.
Father, you get some background from you, sir.
First and foremost, we wouldn't even be here if she would never told me my daughter wasn't mine.
When did she do that?
About less than 6 months ago.
Well, according to her, you've never been in the girl's life. That's what she alleges. So, I mean, if you're claiming the girl as your daughter, all that's great. But I hope that you're actually trying to do something in regards to providing some type of image for the girl in regards to what type of man she should be looking for and what she should be accepting from a man. You know, it's very, very difficult in this society for a man to be a father. I understand that. And some brothers might think that maybe I'm being too hard or too harsh on the male. At the end of the day, I've stated this numerous times, the things that I say will always be more focused towards the man than the female. The female is nothing but a child. She's used to entitlement. She's used to things going her way. The person who should be dealing with the female directly is her man. It's not my job to come on here and talk about women and what women should be doing. To me, that's nonsense. If we're going to stipulate a chain of command, then you have to operate according to the chain of command. If the man claims to be the head, then he's the one that has to be addressed. The man is not only a template for his son, but he's a template for the daughter, so that she understands what type of man that she should be searching for or that she should be dealing with. Unfortunately, in this society, the woman is allowed to choose what type of man she deals with. In a real society, the father tells the daughter that's who you're going to be with. You know why that is? And I know certain women who might be listening to this may get upset. I don't give a shit. The reason why that is because most women don't know up from down when it comes to relationships. They believe in that Cinderella Snow White bullshit that a man is supposed to come and sweep them up off their feet and all this nonsense. Then they get bored with the monotony. They bring confusion, and then everything falls apart. In a real society, the woman is made to feel embarrassed if she does not put both her feet into the relationship and make sure that she does everything that she can to make it last. She's a pariah. That's what real societies do, because they understand the psychology of the woman, which is that if she's left unchecked, it's going to be Kali Ma. Now, getting back to this brother right here, when you understand the woman, it stops you from making big mistakes that will land you in court. Now, at the end of the day, no matter how this verdict turns out, he still has to try to reclaim a relationship with that girl. Many of these females are whores because they never had a relationship with, or they hate their dad. Now, we all know in this society it's very, very difficult for a man to be a father because most of these females do not want to have the male energy in the home. They do not want to be submissive to the male energy. All that has to be taken into account before you impregnate the woman. Right? That's why I have this channel to make sure that brothers are informed. In the process of me doing that, I inform myself a lot of times. A lot of times when you talk things out openly, it takes your mind down different channels that you yourself didn't even consider before.
We were young, and we started dating. We started kicking it, and then kicking it turned into me and her actually making something happen, and we had a daughter.
In other words, you had no plan. All right. Y'all was probably high, had a couple beers. That's what kicking it is. You got some pussy. Next thing you know, the broad is pregnant.
Why'd you break up?
She wanted something I wasn't able to give. I was young, and we were busy a lot with each other as far as one another.
Now, did you have a 5-month-old child while going with her? 5-month-old twins?
No.
Okay,
I had kids, but we weren't together, no. So this particular day, I had my daughter, Yana.
Now, mind you, he already had children. Supposedly, she says that she didn't know about the children. Allegedly. But always keep in mind that many of these females gravitate towards the same energy. The woman is an agent of chaos, so she likes men that are chaotic. She doesn't like men for the most part. Women do not like men that are orderly. The woman does not like order until she gets around the age of 45 and upward. That's when she starts to appreciate order. Are there exceptions to that rule? Obviously. But in general, the woman gravitates towards disorder. You know, brothers always talk about how the woman likes thugs. It's not that they prefer thugs or criminals. The thug and the criminal represent disorder and chaos. That's what the woman likes. I never know what's going to happen next. He might call me from the police station. He might have just got shot. He might call me with this drama and that drama. He might get a new tattoo. He might come in high and drunk. You understand? All that represents chaos. That's what they like.
With me. And she popped up. She called me and she said, "Hey, I'm coming to your house." At the time, I lived with my mom. My daughter opened the door because I was in the back with my girl. When she walked in the door, my daughter opened the door and she said, "Mama, come in the back and meet my sisters." And when she came to the back, she stood there and she looked at my kids. And right in front of all of them, she said, "Did you know that me and him were still?"
Were you?
No.
Let's move forward to the...
Now, this is the second straight case where you have a man who's the defendant, and he's alleging that the woman stating that they were still being intimate and still in a relationship, and he claims they weren't. So clearly there's a detachment in regards to both parties' understanding of what the status of their relationship was at the moment or at the time.
Child in question. Now, he said that you told him that the child in question was not his.
That is not true, Your Honor. What happened was many conversations when I try to speak with him about our 16-year-old daughter, he loves to reflect on the past. And one of the things he said was, "You called and told me that you had slept with this other guy." And I'm like, "I did?" And, "Oh, yeah."
You know you did, bitch. You know you did. No, don't stand there and try to act incredulous. He didn't just make that shit up out of thin air. You know what you did.
"Yeah, you did." And I'm like, "No, that's not true." So that's not the only time he has denied her. So when I saw your commercial, I decided to call.
Okay. And you never believed that there was any question about him being the father?
No, Your Honor.
And you say she did question it?
She did.
Well, do you have any questions about it?
I don't have no question. I don't.
Well, you act like you're frustrated for it. Nobody was even saying anything.
Yeah, he's frustrated because he's created his own confusion. That's why he's frustrated. He's frustrated because he's at this woman's mercy. Again, brothers, the court case is about her ability to drag him into a situation, into a forum where she can roll out all their dirty laundry. She doesn't care what he says about her. She likes the drama. Okay? That's why he's frustrated, because he's only now realizing what this whole situation is about. Please keep in mind, he's not one of these brothers who does not want to be involved at all in the daughter's life, and he doesn't care. I mean, according to her, he's never been involved. But look, that's he say, she say. The case is really about whether or not he is the actual biological father. He's always claimed that he was. He's not denying it, but he is looking for some form of paternity to cement whether or not he is the child's father. But what this case is truly about is the love of chaos. And he's only now understanding that. That's why there's a constant theme in my videos. Please keep that in mind. Always, when you're dealing or interacting with the female, you check her characteristics, and you make sure that you can discern exactly how much she likes drama. Pay attention to how she deals with her family members, with her friends. Pay attention to how she talks about her former boyfriends, quote unquote, if she chooses to do that. That's another thing. A sign of immaturity is a female who's always reflecting back on ex-boyfriends. Okay? Most people who are mature, they leave that in the past, because a new relationship has new energy, there's new dynamics. Somebody always talking about something old is because they have a hard time moving forward, and oftentimes they're very immature.
And you looked over there at her. She didn't say anything. Nobody said anything to you. You act like I'm torturing you. Do you have a question about your paternity with the child?
No.
16 years later.
No.
Your Honor, he had an opportunity to have a paternity test done when...
Who petitioned? I mean, it had to be in play for you to call. You had to say, why would I? Or he has denied...
Never.
Directly to you?
Never.
Has he ever said, I don't know if that's my child?
He said, if she not mine, she gonna be mine. And that's when the state asked him to take a paternity test at the time before he started paying child support.
So, once again, brothers, you see this female's not making any sense. She just stated that, according to her, she stated that he told her, if the child is not mine, she's going to be mine. In other words, he's willing to be a father to the child, even if the child is not biologically his. So she's dragging him into court for shits and giggles. She's dragging him into court in order to just present everything, all the information in an open form to embarrass him, to run him through the mud, because she's still mad that he rejected her 16 years ago, or how many years ago. You see that? There's really no need for them to even be in court. She's just looking for attention. She looks to be probably in her early 40s, maybe late 30s, and just aging poorly due to her weight. And this is a way for her to get attention. It's also a way for her to force him to be in close proximity to her.
And he denied it. It's in the paperwork that
How
he
long
denied.
ago was that?
This was when she was first born.
We're talking about recently. You didn't come here when she was first born.
Exactly. And once again, this is another case of a dude who's offered a chance to have a paternity test and decides that he wants to be Superman and say no. Always accept the paternity test. I don't care how good a person you think this female is. Okay? I don't care how good a person you think she is. You mandate that paternity test. They don't like it, oh well. That's why I tell cats, when if you're dealing with the chick, early on in the relationship, you might just inject that into a conversation. Yeah, my dad always said, get a paternity test whenever you get a woman pregnant, no matter how much you love her. You can say it like that. Oh, my mom always tells me, when you get serious with a female and you decide to bring a child into the world, that we must have a paternity test done. It's nothing personal. It's just all about verifying that the child that has been created is yours. That will be a financial, spiritual, emotional obligation for the rest of your life. So you should be verifying that the child is yours. Period.
No, sir.
I'm talking about recently. What prompted you to look at the ad and say, if you have paternity questions, call Judge Mathis, because they'll help you determine? What prompted you to do that?
I supposedly called him and told him that Kiana was not
Okay, so he made reference in a recent conversation about a past conversation involving paternity.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, now all of a sudden her big ass remembers how the topic came up.
All right, so you say I'm gonna take this excuse away from you
Yes.
from paying attention to her and being around. Don't try to use that. What happened 16 years ago
Look at that. He's still incredulous because he understands that's not how it came up.
when we were kids and whatever. No, we gonna get that out the way right now. You'll never be able to throw that up again.
And brothers, look, just as an aside, man, pay attention to how your woman eat. Because she might be thick now, but damn, these broads get in their mid-30s, man. I mean, shit, if they start backing up, you hear a beeping sound. Mack truck backing up.
We go to those matters. We know how to fix that. And so you didn't do that. You didn't make reference to something 16 years earlier. Well, then you did put it in question. What'd you go back 16 years earlier for?
So when me and her talked, we was talking about our past. And I said, you said a lot of stuff to me that, made me mad. And she's like,
On purpose. That's why she said it, to make you upset. On purpose. Once again, the best way to treat an agent of chaos is to ignore them. That's why you have to scrutinize that woman before you impregnate them, man. Because they're going to show you a whole different side. Once you impregnate the woman or you marry them, you theirs. That's when they can let all the demons out.
like what? We were just talking.
Okay.
And I said, remember the time you told me that Kiana may not be mine? And she said, I said that out of anger, just to hurt you. Okay, cool.
Is this how that conversation went?
I told him if I
Is
said
that how the conversation
No,
went?
no.
How did it go?
he brought up saying the things that I supposedly did to him in the past.
True.
And when he did, I told him I'm the one. I have
Stuttering
no.
too much. He didn't stutter
Okay.
at all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This bitch stuttering like damn Porky Pig.
He didn't stutter one bit.
I have a lot of
He
thoughts.
didn't stutter
Yeah, you got a lot of thoughts. How the fuck you got a lot of thoughts in a pea brain?
one bit. Now, whose text is this?
That's her texting me.
This what you sent to him?
Here you go. Then this is something
A
else.
picture of a man and a picture of you all's child?
Because that is the guy that
Oh,
he.
be quiet. You're the one that put it in question.
Thank you, sir. I love when he say that shit. Man, be quiet.
You're the one that brought this up. You're going to put another man's picture up
I know.
next to your daughter and then say, do you know what your blood type
Yeah,
is?
he brought
Get
him
out
up.
of here.
He
Go
brought
get
him
your
up.
paternity
Oh
test.
my.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brush the bitch off. You know what I'm saying? I told you, brothers, when she first walked in the courtroom, she had a mischievous look on her face. Because she knew the level of chaos that she was trying to cause. She's not even mad about what Mathis revealed. You know, she's at home right now. That she's the center of attention. Something that she probably hasn't been since she had that baby and blew up like the damn Goodyear blimp.
Oh my God. Well, we know the answer.
Oh, be quiet. Be quiet before I throw you out.
Thank you. Be quiet before I throw you out, before you have a crane come in here and tow her big ass out the courtroom.
You're the one brought this up, this nonsense. Now your daughter at least gonna know you're the one brought this nonsense up. Oh, this is mama's foolishness. You take this and give it to your daughter.
Stay tuned for the paternity test results.
All right, so now when we left off, it was revealed that the reason why the defendant in question was seeking some form of validation or verification that the child that he had with the plaintiff was actually his was because, as usual, she was trying to provoke him with the thought that other men were truly the father of the daughter that he thought he had. So anyway, let's get the results.
Take this and give it to your daughter.
Can I say something to you guys?
Yeah.
Can I say something to you?
Yes, sir.
Regardless of what the results are, like I said before, I never denied my daughter, ever.
You are the father. Have a good day. Congratulations.
Now you feel stupid because she is yours.
How could he feel stupid when he said from the start that that he's never denied her and that she would always be his regardless? You see that? Notice in both this case and the previous case, the liberal black female, the agent of chaos, liberal female, because it's really not about race, it's really just about ideology. As they walk out the courtroom, they have to verbally taunt the defendant, still trying to provoke. what is underneath all that? She still wishes that she was with him because she hasn't been able to replace him, most likely, since their relationship disintegrated. Because if she had, if she had another man to occupy her time, she wouldn't be wasting time trying to run back and forth to court. All this was about was to make him come be in her vicinity and see her, to try to create a scenario where they could be together. That's all. Very pathetic.
I'm not going to go there.
How about that?
That's why I left you alone.
How about that? No, I left you alone.
You see what he said? That's why I left you alone. Now she claiming, no. It's very, very obvious that if he wanted to hit that, he could still hit that right now. He could hit that as soon as y'all head back to the hotel from the courtroom.
You alone, boo. He needs to spend more time with his daughter and stop making excuses on why he can't do this and can't.
Yo, this dude look like a little boy in detention at Catholic school. The guy cocking his head to the side.
This and can't do that.
I ain't never stopped trying to be a father in my daughter's life, so it's gonna stop now. I'm gonna still do what I do.
But anyway, that was the latest video on how paternity testing should be mandatory. So brothers, please make sure that you walk circumspectly and pay very close attention to what you do, how you do it, who you do it with. It'll keep a lot of bullshit and confusion out of your life. But anyway, peace.